And we're back. Well, I guess we're not back. Wartime ZoomShteig number 0 because we're not back. So we are learning in the schos of the captives and the soldiers. I wanted to start here today with the case that we saw, the first case of the branches that we saw. She does Rabbi Yochanan, and I want to see the Rambam on there. Even though the Rambam is kind of passing, like the Gemara says, Eitzim Shanashru. Oh, very good. Barbarachana. Thank you. It's very good. Oh, it was kind of hot. So we saw the trees that fell from the tree, meaning branches that fell from the tree on Shabbos. You can't be masik it. You can't burn it on Yantif. And if you ask Rabbi Yochanan, why Beitza did you say that was okay in such a case, Yantif to Shabbos, born on Yantif, eat it on Shabbos the next day? Yum. Okay, so there's no one in Shir, by the way. It's just me, and I'm called David. It's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah, now I said 0 because I said, and we're back. Yeah, because no one said, and we're back. No one answered. And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. She was going to show Wartime ZoomShteig number 202. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's because the soldiers captive. Beitza Daladam Beis. Steig da. So you say, well, you want the egg? No. Right? He says egg is because yesterday they didn't. It was usher, so they made the yadi, right? Made the yadi, the baz yoma asura, so everyone knows. But the tree is not going to know. They can say the reason you couldn't do it yesterday was because it was Shabbos, and this is deraisa of losavesh. The Chumash will say, Hashem give us siyata d'shmaya to never be maver and eish on Shabbos again. Unless we need to do it for like the Pikuach Nefesh, yes, say someone's life, you gotta light fire. Hopefully, we won't be in such situations, Okay, so I wanted to see the Rambam. The Rambam in Perek Beis of Hilchos Yantif. So, where was my Hilchos Yantif? So, in the Rambam, who knows where Hilchos Yantif is? It's in Zmanu. And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. I forgot the line. Wartime ZoomShteig, Matayim B'Shtayim. Okay, so we're learning the Rambam. The Rambam in Hilchos Zmanim, Hilchos Yantif. So sometimes it's called Hilchos Yantif in the Rambam. Sometimes they call it Hilchos Shvisas Yantif. It comes right after Hilchos Shvisas Asor, talking about Yom Kippur. Beis Yud Aleph. We go to Hilchos Yantif. We go to Beis. We go to Yud Aleph. And we're back. What's up, Dad? Shalom. So in the Rambam, Hilchos Yontif, Perek Beis Halacha Yud Aleph, and the case is the case that we discussed yesterday. We were Zachet that my dad and Shir last night, but we did a little chazara on this case in texting. And so it says, Eitim shenashru min hadeko v'yantif. If it falls off the chair and yantif, Asher lastikam ifnei she'ein nolad. You can't burn him on that day because it's nolad. V'im nashru l'soch hatanor. This is the next case. We're seeing the Rambam because but this is actually the next case in the Gemara that we saw in the Rif and the Rambam. We didn't even see in the Gemara inside yet. So we're going to see that soon. Rebbetzin Barbar Chara. Do you have a pencil for a Rosh Hashiva, perhaps? Oh, we have them right here. The pencil is in, just so like people watching at home will be proud. We're learning the Gran Eicha in preparation for Tisha B'Av. Mir Hashem, this year Tisha B'Av will be a Simcha Gedayla. For Zaychet. All right. So if they fell into the oven themselves, the tree, the branches, they fell straight from the tree into the oven. You can add trees that are prepared, meaning branches that you prepared Erev Yantif, and you can light them up. So a haystack and a tree and a wood shed. Wow, I just nailed those two translations. A haystack and a tree and a wood shed. You can't just be like, oh, I need some wood. Unless you're like, yo, I'm going to use that on this yontif. You were making it, you prepared it. Always good to remember when we're talking about hachana that this entire world is just hachana for the next world. Okay. In the yontif, unless you prepare them from the day before. Wow. Says the Rambam, if the haystack was full of prickly things, thorns, if the prickly thing was full of thorns, so then you know that like you're only going to use this haystack for hachana, for burning it, because it has no other use if it's prickly, right? Right, the prickly muffin. If it's full of thorns, so then you have no use for it except for burning it. So it's automatically considered muchan for yantif and it's prepared. Okay, that was the Rambam. Now we'll go back to the Gemara, the Dalet Beis. We're gonna do the mimer that we saw of Rav Matana. Now, Dad, this is one of the most interesting cases I've seen in a long time of Bittul Barov. Me and my dad love the sugya Bittul Barov. We even learned it when we did Hilchos Mechlas Asuros in the Rambam. And so here's another case that in the Gemara itself. Says Rav Masna, the eitzim, they fell from the tree right into the tanor, into the oven. On Yantif. So what do you do? You can't use this. You can't use this the eitzim that falls from the daga on Yantif. It's nailat. Right? So, but the Gemara says, Marba alam eitzim muchanim umesikan. You can go downstairs to the tree that is ready, and that was prepared for Yantiv, and just keep adding them until it's batul barov. Wait, the Hagam Habich Misura, but aren't you like flipping it around? So the Gemara says, right, you're flipping around the other because the tree that falls from the branch that falls from the tree into the stove is Muksa, Nola. But the Gemara says, make it batal. Dad, do we see like such a thing in any other halacha? Imagine this. Me and you, Dad, we always used to talk about like, oh, how can we like figure out like a way to do it halachically? To have like milk and meat, maybe. Like we look at the sugya, oh, right? So here's a case where l'chayra it doesn't work with milk and meat. Let me give you an example. You're making meatloaf, and a piece of cheese falls into the meatloaf, right? And it's more than batul b'shishim. It's more than batul b'shishim. It's not. It's only like 1 in 50. So is the Beitza to just add more meatloaf so that like you can eat it now? I mean,
the trolley problem.
Well, the question, even more than that, can you do it on purpose? Meaning, they're
No, you can't do it like
Exactly.
Can't, because non-kosher schnitzel has like crumbs that are dairy. So you can't make schnitzel out of those things because it's batal b'shishim, assuming that it's 1 in 60.
L'chayra, Dad, what'd you say? You say you can or can't?
You cannot.
Cannot l'chayra, but wait a second. The Gemara right here says that the tree that falls, the branch that falls from the tree directly into an oven, all you have to do is add on some branches that you prepared before Yantif, and then you can light them. L'chatchila. So I agree with you, Dad, that l'chayra you can't do it l'chatchila. But then we have a huge kasha from this Rav Masna, who says do it. So that's the Pella. Okay. And what he's doing, when he's stoking the oven, the coals, the trees, the branches that are burned, become coal. Keva deruba dehatera nenu, right? The Gemara asks, isn't he stoking with Isser? Answers the Gemara, no, since most of them are mutter, he's flipping it around beheter. Wait a second, the Gemara screams out. Like what my dad says, you can't do that. You can't just go and make a bit of cheese fell into my cholent. Let me make more cholent to cancel the cheese. Can't do that.
But is that the same thing as l'chadchila? Meaning, at that point, it was already a mistake.
So what if a person does it? He says you can't do it l'chatchila. Also, right? What happens if a person goes and does it? Right? You can't do it l'chatchila, but b'diavad, is it okay? And also,
if he does it intentionally, it's not okay. B'diavad, it's.
I hear you.
But there's one thing to do it on purpose for flavor. Is it another thing when something falls in and you don't want to waste the whole thing? Is that still a fatila?
So you're not supposed to do it. So now we have to see. That's exactly Gemara's question. V'tanan, right? Ein mevatlin is the lechatchila. This is a Gemara in Trumos, maybe, and it says that you can't be mevatlin is the lechatchila. Right? The case we saw, I think, was if you have a saw, if you have 100 saw of truma, ani mem tashur. Vayesh lecha tikkun shalom. Grumi ba branco shkaya. Achi, ata tzadik kazo. אוהב אותך מאוד, אחי. תודה. לא לשכוח לקחת. אחרי שיעור. האמת, הגמרא אומר שאם יש לך חש בגרון, יעסוק בתורה. חש בעין, יעסוק בתורה. חש ברגל, יעסוק בתורה. שכייך. As the Gemara says like this. Honey, right? So but wait a second, you can't be mevatel. The Mishnah case was if you have 100, I think 99 saw of chulin, and then one saw of truma falls in. So it's not batel, it's not 100, you need 100 to batel, not 99. So if another thing of chulin falls in, if it was shogeg, it's mutter. If it's mazid, it's aser. Because of this gezerah, hey, you can't be batel. It's a lechatchila. I don't know if it's a gezerah, but it seems like that, right? That word lechatchila is very interesting here. I mean, like you shouldn't be able to do it lechatchila, but if you did it, does that mean that it's mutter b'diavad? Maybe. I'm just being medayik lechatchila here. You can't do it lechatchila. Okay, but if you did. Hanebile says the Gemara, when can you not be mevatel? Is it lechatchila? Hanebile b'deraisa. That's what talking about deraisa, like my dad said, like with the cheese and the chulent over here. Send them packing. What you're going to be mevatel? Is it deraisa lechatchila? Of course not. Aval b'derabana, when it's a lowly there. Kidding, a lowly derabana. Chas v'shalom, I should say that. But when it's just the derabanan. So then you can be mevatel it, by the way, and that's what we saw in this case. The tree falls down is no lad aka muksa, only midirabanan, and so therefore you can be mevatel lechatchila. Wait a second, Dad. If you can be mevatel and isser derabanan lechatchila, so then let's make chicken cheese, 60 parts chicken, 1 part cheese. What's derabanan? I can be mevatel lechatchila, chicken cheese. The Rebbe says blah, but we say that no, it's better to say I want it, but Hashem was geyser that I can't have it, than to walk past the not kosher store and say blah. But everyone at the level, and also it's probably the ledge just happens to be. But the Rabbanan you can about the Rav Ashi. But what according to Rav Ashi, the Amar that says. Kol davar sheish lo matirin, davar sheish lo matirin, because tomorrow it's not nolad anymore, and so even b'derabanan it's not patel. Even derabanan it's not mevatel. Ma'igala mevar, what could you say? That according to Rav Ashi, that says that it's davar sheish lo matirin, meaning a thing that's going to be permitted. This is davar sheish lo matirin. It's like a thing that's going to be permitted. So it's not batel even in 1,000, right? Even the Rabbanan, it's not batel. So what could you say? You can say that no, Rav Ashi had it be like that's when the Isser is still in its form, original form. Haga mikla kali isura. Over here, we don't have a branch anymore. We have a coal. We have just a coal, aka J coal. So mikla kali isura. It's easy. It's less bad, right? Because it's a coal. Just a coal. As the Gemara. V'haga mahabech b'isura. The Gemara say, wait a second. The tree falls off the branch. The branch falls off the tree directly into an oven. A guy falls off a roof exactly into a woman. Both of these cases are in the Gemara, I think. Right? When you're stoking from this corner to that corner. Says no, because since it's Bad L'Marov, he's being Mahabech with the hat there. Is there Bad L'Marov? Because the Isser is Batal in the majority. Wait a second. Rashi has a different girsa. Rashi doesn't say Ein Mevatlin Isser Lechatchila. He says, right? The Gemara says, V'hakam Mevatel Isser Lechatchila, but aren't you being Mevatel an Isser like Lechatchila? Says Rashi that you're being Mevatel the Isser Biadayim, that you're doing it on purpose with your hands. If it's not Ein Mevatel Isser Lechatchila, you can't do that. The Abagav the Isura Batil Beruba. Even though the Isser is Batil Berov, that's talking about the case where it automatically happens. But to actually like be mevadla with your hands, that you're adding the Isser part of it, you're adding you're making mevadla on purpose. So you can't do that on their rice. You can't do that with chicken and meat, and with chicken and milk, with milk.
Chicken and cheese.
No, milk and meat. Yeah, milk and meat. That's their rice, but maybe you can do it. It's only there about Azir, the Hagi to Nav Mesechus Trumos, because this is what it says Mesechus Trumos. Start Truma and up the dog, Tisha, so start Truma that fell in between 99. The Chazar and up the star, Jachul and Im Shogeg, Mutter, Im Mazid. So if you did it on Mishogeg, if you did it by accident, so then it's okay, because, right, Dad, what's the case? 99 Mutter, 1 Usher. And then you say, oh, let me add one more mutter to mevatel it in me'av echad. So if you add it on purpose, you can't. But if it just fell in, so then shogeg, okay, so it's mevatel. Good fortune. The amazing hepila, but if you did it on purpose, you knocked it over. So that's sa'achrayna. Kedei lahashli me'achul la'los hatruma. So that's aser. So we said you can't be mevadel Isser lechatchila. You can't be mevadel Isser biadayim. You can't on purpose put that last to complete it to 100 versus 1, 100 chulin versus 1 true. The Gemara says, no, that's talking about deraisa, for example. Truma. Aval derabana, for example, muktzah over here. So, grum, achshali, yom tov, lala tov. אוהב אותך, השם ישמור אותנו.
לטוב.
Okay, so that's the Gemara. Right, but what about according to Rav Ashi, Davar Sheish, Materian is never batal, even in a derabana, that's when the Isser is still in its form. But now we're talking about J, coals, just coals. Okay, what's the next step? So everyone's going to say, well, we're talking about Rashi. Now let's see tastes. But I'm doing it different every day. Every day, and the Rebbe will have this discuss. I wanted to do a little bit of Chazara on Hilchos Meichlos Asuros that I was like, I had to learn with my dad over the years, right? Meichlos Asuros. So how do we get to Meichlos Asuros here? So I'm saying, let's see the Rambam. We saw the Rambam over here. Eitzim Shenashru. We see that little bed over there that goes to the Ein Mishpat Ner Mitzvah. The trees that fell from the decal into the oven on Yantiv, just add eitzim trees, branches that you were preparing before, but you gotta light them up. Says the Gemara, wait a second, are you not Mahabech Surah? Where it says no, because since Rove is had there, come Mahabech, you're being Mahabech in the head there, you're stoking the head there. Come Mahabech. But already being you said you cannot do. Ein mevatlin iser lechatchila. Says Gemara, if it's not ein mevatlin iser lechatchila, haremile b'deraisa. That's only b'deraisa. Abba b'derabana batlina. So we say, wait a second, Gimel, Dalit. Let's see what they are. Gimel, Memani's, Perik Tezvav, Hilchos Meichlos Asuros. I saw that like when I was preparing shir today because with Ian I prepared shir a little bit, and I saw that and I said Meichlos Asuros tends to do some chazar with my tati. Let's go. So they call Meichlos Asuros Chav A and Chav Vav, and then I don't even want to tell you what I'm going to do after this. But first, let's see. Please feed Rambam with the nice day, Caleb. Give thanks to Kadosh Baruch Hu and to my dad for letting us see like the nice day, Caleb. Maybe we'll take this Rambam. Maybe when God's reinstated, Chas Shalom, if we'll take the Rambam. We'll carry with us a Rambam and a Gemara. Say, what? Am I gonna have a Rambam? Really nether. What? Am I gonna have a full Rambam? Okay. Asher levadel isurin shel Torah lechatchila. Says the Ram, you can't do it lechatchila to mivada. The im bitol, Dad, you see this? The im bitol, if you were mivada, are is that mutter. So again, the Rabbi maybe is talking about on a deraisa level. They're like, you're not allowed to be mivada is the deraisa, like lechatchila. You're not allowed to add more meatloaf in to cancel the cheese. You're not allowed to do that. But if you do it, deraisa, totally mutter. Right?
Well, so that's interesting because I believe that Rove on a deraisa level is factual. Rove is Rove.
Rove.
Rove is Rove.
2-1. The chayra. Right? So that's exactly what the Gemara is saying. Very good. So the Aval B game, so even so, Kanzu Oso Chachamim Ba'asur. Even so, the Chachamim punished him or feed him, gave him a fee, a tax, penalty, penalized him. And I said it's Azar. Says the Rambam, V'yirali, it seems to me, Shekeva Ju Kanas, since it's only a Kanas, it's only like a penalty, Ein Ostrin Darovezo, Ella al Zeh Ha'oived, Ha'over Shabitl Ha'ezer. Yo, we make chicken soup or chicken whatever stew. Put a little cheese in there, or let's say cheese balls in. You don't put the cheese in there. Let's say cheese balls in. So then, like DVJ said earlier, now what about we're gonna lose $1 million now? We're gonna lose all this money because like some milk fell in. So what do you do? If it's meat and milk, then see you Josh Tuesday and like ain't day of ain't chachma ain't tavuna neged Hashem. If it's deraisa, but if it's derabanan, according to the Rambam, you could have one person say, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll take this on myself." Makes more meatloaf. Mevato the Isser lechatchila. He did an Isser, and it's usher for him to do this. But for everyone else, for the 1,000 people at the wedding, they can eat it now, right? According to the Rambam, l'chayra, it says they have a big ain't conjure, right? The yearly, but since it's just a kanas, it's only usher for the guy who did the avera. A bit the Isser. But the other people go mutter. Kate side, wait a second. So what's the case? Harisha nafla star shall orla took mea star. Shahare Nezar, right? So if you have 1 sa of orla into 100 sa of orla, it's other. Lo yevi mes sa acherim. Don't bring another 100 sa. The yisarei, and it will be mixed in. So it's a talash will be raised up. It's 1 and 200. But if you did this, the im upper v'asakain akol mutter again. Aval b'yisurim shel divrein. And the Rambam says, so wait a second. So wait a second. Is this talking about Isser Deraisa that you can do that? Mamish, milk and meat? And if it's an Isser Devrei, you can't be Mevatel Isser. If it's talking about chicken, you can't do it Mevatel Isser Lechatchila. According to the Rambam Mutter. According to the Rambam Mutter to do that.
Only for chicken.
Well, only for Derabana. Like the case of Muksa with the tree that fell. But that's not the case with Truma. Right? Now, one question I have in the Rambam over here is that the Gemara's case, the case in the Gemara of Truma, was 1 saw fell into 99 saw of Truma. Why does the Rambam here talk to us about 1 fell into 100 of Orla, and then you need to bring another 100? I think I might know the answer, but I'm not sure. Okay, so now, what am I going to do? What are we going to learn in Shir right now? We saw the Gemara, we saw the Rashi, we saw the Rambam. There is a Tosfos here. We could see this Tosfos probably bring B'Shvat. However, I want to see something that we have never seen in the annals of Yeshivas Gostal. Just give the opportunity. Tor Shulchan Aruch, Yored Deya, Simin Sadidas, Siv A and Siv Vav. So now we say Tor Shulchan Aruch. What even is a Tor Shulchan Aruch? Da 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 da. Yoredeya. So we go to Yoredeya. What was it? Sadi test? They said. We say Sadi test. Hey and Vav. Hey and Vav. So now we're about to see a Tor Shulchan Aruch. First time that I can remember seeing this in Yeshivas Gostal. We've seen a Shulchan Aruch a few times. Now, I still don't have all my Sfarim, Dad. Could you believe it? It is so spread out. My Aruch HaShulchan is actually at Rachamim. So, everything at the right time. I'll get it. If Hashem wants me to get it, I'll get it. If Hashem doesn't want me to get it, I won't get it. Everything Dad, there is nothing Lamdas like some Yoredei Tarayves, it's such a schus to even be looking into a Torah Shulchan Aruch. The Rebbe said, do you know who the Torah was?
You say the name over every once in a while.
Every once in a while, yeah, but we never really spoke about it. Oh, we did learn the Torah in the OL. The Torah was the son of the Rush. Some people say that the Torah was the first Rishon, and that this was the first Sefer. Sorry, the first Acharon, and this was the first Sefer ever printed in the printing press. Right? And so, Torah Shulchan Aruch. On the side of the Torah, we have the Bach and the B. We don't even know what that is. And then we have the Prisha, Prisha, Darchei Moshe. Who knows who the Darchei? Oh, this is the Beis Yosef, obviously. Who's the Beis Yosef? Guy who wrote Shulchan Aruch. And then who's Darchei Moshe? That's Moshe Isserles. That's the Ramah. Both the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah have Parish on the Torah first. And then they're like, well, let me just write Shulchan Aruch now. What? Okay, so now we're just looking inside and we're like, wait a second. Is that where hay starts? Okay, we're just starting the Torah. I don't know how to learn Torah. Is there Siman in the Torah? Right, so this is Aleph, I guess. This is Siman Aleph, Sif Aleph, right? So they're saying that you mean to hay. Okay, so this is Beis. Okay. Hey? And hey? Yay. a Torah Shulchan Aruch, not easy. What Shulchan Aruch has halacha simin tzadites siv hey. Okay, Dad. I don't even know how to say siv hey. I looked for it. I'm just gonna start reading from here. Umeshar in a head there, that is there. Kemosha Balafadenu. Okay, this is not the way to learn a Torah. Now I could do a Shulchan Aruch. It says Torah Shulchan Aruch, and we're here in the Torah. I'm not going to open the Torah and not read it, but I also have a Shulchan Aruch here. So let's just start from the beginning. Chatichas nevela sheyesh ba basar v'atzamo shenava l'kedera shahatir. So if it's right, yesh orim sha'atzmos that is there mitzdarvin. That's definitely not relevant. I mean, it's relevant, but let's just try to say. The Shire and a heter is there commotion above and it like comes before us. Avagam heter biyoser mitachil is my bisulo. So let's say there was more heter, but it got cooked out. The nivla kadera and it was swallowed into the sides of the kadera or evaporated. Afilu haki ein misharin osa ella kemosha balapanenu. Even though at one point maybe this was Rove Heter, but still, if before us now it's not Rove Heter, so we don't care that at one point it was Rove Heter. They say, and the Rashba writes, but why is this Shayef? Here's Hey, here's Vav. Because of the Sefer HaMitzvos. It says in Sefer HaMitzvos, Tzarech HaChacham L'chor Im Nasnu Mayim B'Kadera, Acher Shenasnu Ba'Izer. So he's talking about we found it. He's talking about adding the water or mevatel the isner v'chatchila v'nearly she'ein tzarech afilu im hosif ma'im acher kach im lo kivein kedei levatel isner mitzdarfen. So as long as his intention was not to be mevatel the isner v'chatchila, it's okay. The kaimelan kol ha'isurin sheriba alein shogeg mutter. If it's shogeg, it's mutter. But if it's b'mezid, it's aser. Derabanan, right? Ve'enach lo shema yavo l'rabos b'mezid. Oh, maybe he'll come to it on purpose. She'im banu lachush l'zeh. If we were worried about that. Gam lo namin lo masha omer shelo riba. Right? Well, we're not going to believe this guy had anything. Aval hamachavin laharbos afilu min b'mino. The head there, Rabba ala Isser. Even if it's a thing in a thing, and usually it's not mevatel, but there's more heter than aser. There's more permissible than not permissible. So batel min hatayra elish hachamim itzrichu. So midiraisa, exactly like my dad said, batel min hatayra, as long as there's a little extra. But the chachamim needed sameh. 60 times. Eino batel given shariba amazing. But it's not mevatel even if you have the 1 in 60. If you increased it intentionally. Because the Rambam says Davka lemevatel atzmo. Right? The Rambam is only to the guy who was mevatel. Oh, lemisa kiva levatla bishvilo, right? Or the one that he's mevatel for him. Avalachrini, other people it's okay. Because so first of all, this is a chiddush that the Heligator, son of the Rosh, is mechadesh for us. He says that
we got about 6 minutes.
Perfect. It's other for him, and it's other for who he's being mevatel for it, but for a random person it would be permissible. That the Rambam doesn't say exactly. But according to that, like my wedding, that this guy falls on the grenade, my wedding idea of let's just have like big crowds, have one guy just do it, then it would be mutter for everyone else. According to the Torah, that wouldn't work. According to the Rambam, it would work. Aval Achrini Shari. Because of a Rashba, this is Aval Davar She'ikari Yisro Enim Elami Derabanan Kegon Gvina. What? Shel Nachri. So he's talking about Gvina, like the guy, like non-Jewish cheese, only Derabanan, right? Vishmeno Shel Gid, and the fat of a gid. So only Derabanan. Dad, the reason that the Shuman in a Gid Hanash says only Isser Derabanan is because Deraisa, I don't know if it even has like a shame ochel. Gid Hanash has like a tree. It's like Eitzim Ba'alma, right? So maybe that's why the Shuman, which is Aser, maybe, right? I mean, it's not Chelev, but the Shuman of the Gid is only Isser Derabanan. I don't know why I'm blinding, but I thought maybe that was easy. Ein ma'arvin also beheder kedei levatlo. You can't be vatlo lechatchila. Avar ve'arvu beheder kedei levatlo. If it was b'shogeg, mutter b'mezid aser. Nova be'atmo beheder. Aval pi she'ein beheder kedei levatlo mutter lohosif. Beheder kedei lachtiro. Kedei chazina be'etzim shenazru minatan b'yantif. Like we saw with our favorite case in Beitza. You can add them trees lechatchila latiro. The efshar. Oh, Dad, look. The Adaini Avi, I think it means my father, my master. Harash. Adaini Avi Harash. Zal. Kasav writes. The afilu is there. The Rabbanan shenis arev asner lahosdi v'alav. We didn't see the rush this time around. It's okay. We saw it in the sweet, sweet son of the rush. It's Torah. The afilu is there. The Rabbanan shenis arev is there asner lahosdi. Even the Rabbanan is asner to add to vatam. Below a tiro, and they really only said it was okay. Ella be'etzim. Remember, the Rambam was like, yo, you can totally do this. You can be vatno iser derabanan lechatchila, no problems. And then the Rush was like, actually, it's only specifically in this case. And then his son, the Torah, was like, actually, you can't do it for anyone. Like, if you have the intention to do it for them, it's also usher for them, right? And then his son says in the name of his father that you can only do it specifically in that case of trees that fall, the branches that fall in the oven, because it's such a simple isser, because it's no longer in its form. It's not a branch anymore. It's a coal. Yay! Coal. Just coals. Yo, what you got there? J. Coals. Right? Okay. We have a tiny bit of time left. I want to do this so much to see a Shulchan Aruch. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The entire time that I was in Shmutz Laaretz for 2 years, when I left yeshiva, and I didn't leave yeshiva, obviously we're studying the whole time, but I didn't have a chance to learn with Isparim. And I didn't have a chance to go deep and see a Torah and see a Shulchan Aruch. But Dad, if I didn't have those 2 years and change or whatever, then I wouldn't have appreciated my ability right now to learn like the Shulchan Aruch. Exactly, you don't know what I have till it's gone. Right. So here, Shulchan Aruch much easier to say, oh, here's let's go. We broke our teeth for hours in the Torah, trying to find where he's talking about it. Shulchan Aruch, it's mamish, the table is set for us. You cannot be mevatlan is lechatchila. The afilu knuckle letoch heter. The ein bo shiur levatlo. Even if it fell into heter and doesn't have the shear to mevatla, ein bo sipin alav heter. You can't just keep on adding the meatloaf. That was the case from today. Kedei levatlo, in order to levatlo, avar bitlo. Okay, we saw the Rambam, we saw the Raj, we saw the Torah, saw the Rebbe and the Ran and Rashi, but now we're going to see the Shulchan Aruch. What does he paskin? And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get my Aruch and Shulchan. Okay, avar bitlo, osher riba alav. If it was shogig his mother, if it's mazed asar the mevadel atmo. Oh, it passes like the Rambam. Imu shalo. V'chein the mishnah mizvato mishvelo. He passes like a Torah. He says, and also if he's mizvato for it. So my plan of like having one guy fall on the grenade so that everyone else can eat on Yad Tiv, even though he's doing Isser, does not work according to the Shulchan Aruch or the Torah. And it says the Ramah. Wait a second, we're Ashkenazim here. What does the Ramah say? Ve'asurim limochro gam kein Yisrael acher shelo yehenu b'ma shebatlo. So you also can't be vatlo. I say, okay, well I can't have it. Well, I guess I can't have it, but I can sell it now to another because then you're benefiting from it. V'lishar kol adam, for a rando it's mutter, says the Ramah. V'davgash is arev yavesh b'yavesh. Dad, you remember when we were learning Shulchan Aruch right after my car accident? And we're learning Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah, and like, can I even say like a pshat in a word? Probably not. 1 minute left. Right? It says the. I remember that day that we were learning by Rabbi Vashon, Dad. I asked you like, who's the Gah? He says the Ramah. I said, why do they call him the Gah? Okay, Hagah. The Davgash and his Arab Yavesh Yavesh. Oh, Abdullah Malach. So we got dry with dry or wet with wet. Leman Amar Ein Orimbo Chaticha Nazis Nevela Kidelael Simin Sadibeis. So the guy who says that we don't say to him this Chaticha, I don't know what this is, your day stuff. Amar Chaticha Shebalah. Usher lo ma'arish and his vazev al-gagahater. It doesn't help to keep on adding the hater. The harmina, baby, because we say about it. Chaticha nasis nevela. Okay, I don't know what chaticha nasis nevela is. I haven't seen all the other day yet. So now I'm just gonna say, okay, sing a quick song. Chaticha nasis nevela. Maybe I will one day say pshat in it, but I don't know. This content is not from our Gemara, and it's not super.